and as soon as they let us in, we'll be good to go. All right, here we go. Here we go. James, the screen's all messed up over here. Let me fix it up really quick. There we go. All right. Virginia Parole. We can't.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's going into the other wheel?
Right, okay. All right. All right. Good afternoon, and it is 1 o'clock, and we are calling this meeting to order. My name is Patricia West, and I'm chairman of the parole board, and let's go down the line so everyone can introduce themselves. Mr. Boone, we'll start down there and just go on there.
Samuel Boone. Lloyd Banks. Phil Sharp.
Michelle Deermeyer.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you want him to stand up, maybe?
We can maybe see each other better if he's able to stand up. If he's able.
Stand up, yes, sir.
If he can't, it'll make it a whole lot better.
Please.
The way the screen is, it's hard to see. Halfway you
Yes,
see
sir.
you, you're good now.
Okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can you see me good?
You're good now. You're good.
There we
Okay,
go.
yes, sir.
Can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can. It's going in and out, but I can hear you all.
The only other instruction I have for you is please don't put the phone down because you'll be disconnected.
Is it too loud for you guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so just hold on to the phone, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
No, well, we don't have.
Is that okay?
Yes. Okay. All right. So we have majority. In fact, we have the entire board present today. Do we have a motion as to the agenda for today's hearing?
I move for approval.
Second.
Everyone in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the agenda has been approved. Has everyone had an opportunity to look at the minutes of the meeting from April 9th?
Yes, motion to approve.
Second.
Everyone in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right. We start, sir, with an overview of the full consideration process. Beginning July, because this is kind of new for us and for you all too. Beginning July 1st, 2024, when the board is inclined to grant discretionary parole or geriatric conditional release to a prisoner, the parole board must convene a public hearing to conduct the final deliberation and vote. As a result of initial polling, we have 3 inmates who are being considered for geriatric conditional release today. The board will take this opportunity to discuss the case, ask the inmate any questions and the members may have, and conduct the final deliberation and the final vote. All right, our first
Thank you, Mercedes.
inmate
Forgot about that.
is Mr. Anthony Gregory, and he is at St. Bride's Correctional Center. Mr. Gregory is a 63-year-old parole violator who is serving 72 years and 12 months for
72?
serious armed robberies. He was paroled in 2005, but reincarcerated in 2006 following another robbery. His parole was revoked in 2007, and he is serving that time as well. This is his second dual eligibility consideration. All right. Do any of the board members have any questions for Mr. Gregory?
It is, Emily.
Mr. Gregory, I would like to hear from you what's different now than when you were out previously, and what steps are you prepared to take if you're released by this board?
Yes, sir. Well, what's different now, sir, is I am certainly not the same individual that was afforded that first opportunity and did not take advantage of it. I've had plenty of time over the course of these 19 years since I've been back to reflect and make some changes from within, and I just believe if I'm afforded another opportunity, that I would make the best of this next opportunity if afforded. And also, sir, I'd just like to add that I didn't fully understand, as I do now, that parole is certainly a privilege and not a right. And I did not fully understand that and take advantage of the opportunity when I was afforded it the first time. I've made some sacrifices, some self-sacrifices and soul searching, and have done everything in my power to adhere to the way that the parole board and the administration here at St. Bride's would expect of me to do. I've taken the opportunity to acquire some skills that would better help me and suit me once the opportunity is, if I'm afforded the opportunity again. I've also obtained my forklift operator's license certification, and I've also acquired my flaggers training license certification that would ensure me an opportunity to acquire gainful employment when I get back out. Also would like to just acknowledge to the board that I have great family support, and I had it last time, but again, like I said, I really wasn't ready. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not going to procrastinate about it. I really wasn't ready when I was afforded the opportunity the first time, but I do want to just acknowledge to the board that Mr. Gregory has certainly learned his lesson this time, and so what's going to be different? Well, if afforded the opportunity today, I'm planning to go out there and just slowly reintegrate myself back into society and not be in a rush to try to catch up and make up for time lost, and just try to slowly become a productive citizen if allowed the opportunity, sir.
And help me understand what's your release plan. Is it still what
Yes, sir.
to do, plan to stay with?
Okay, yes, sir. Well, my release plan is to be paroled to my brother, Mr. James Gregory, house out in Chester, Virginia. He's a retired military service member and disabled vet. And also, like I said, when I get there, I will have ample support from not only my brother, but my sisters and my brother-in-laws. And I have a daughter and a son-in-law who's very active in the community, and their support will also be there for me. And I also just going to, like I said, try to do everything I can to not gain one job, but if necessary, two.
Okay, I don't have any further questions. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else?
I have a question for you. Hi, Mr. Gregory.
Hello, is that Miss Michelle Demar?
Yes, it is.
Yes, ma'am. How you doing today?
If you had an opportunity to say something to your victims, because you do have quite a few of them with these robberies that you have been charged, you know, both back in 1992 and then the ones from 2006. So what would you say to them today?
That I would take the opportunity to acknowledge that because of my crimes and my actions, that even though I did not harm anyone physically, I want to acknowledge to them that I do know and take full responsibility that I inflicted and caused mental and emotional duress to them, and thus causing them to be victims of my crime. I would ask for their forgiveness, and also you know, I would just like to acknowledge that not only did these individuals become victims from my crimes, I also cause my family to be victims again. And so I would just ask for that forgiveness and pray that they would accept my sincere and genuine apologies and just hopefully they would see that I'm not the same man, I'm a changed man, and I'm not the same individual I was that committed those crimes back then, Ms. Michelle Demire.
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Gregory, I have a quick question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
How long did you serve before you made mandatory parole the first time? How many years?
13 and a half.
13 and a half. And
Yes, ma'am.
didn't make parole, you mandatoried out, correct?
No, ma'am. I was actually granted parole under Miss Helen Fahey's board when she was the parole chairman.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I was granted parole. Yes, ma'am.
But so you served that time. Why did that time not
You're welcome, Albert.
do what this time has done for you?
Well, to be honest with you, Ms. Patricia West, it should have, but in actuality, I really wasn't ready then. I had not acquired any skills to go back out there and acquire gainful employment, and I just, it happened, it came, and I just went back out there trying to make up for lost time and trying to, I guess, keep up with the Joneses, because like I said, even though I did work while I was out there, I kind of fell behind and made some poor decisions, and I did not, I was prideful, and I should have asked for my family's assistance, but I didn't. And so even though 13 and a half years, you would think, Ms. Patricia West, and other board members would have been ample enough time from the first parole that I was granted. I just really wasn't ready then, and but I know I'm ready now, Miss Patricia West.
Okay, well, you do understand that was not the only time that you were out and you got picked up again. Do you remember when you first got arrested on the 2 bank robberies and made bond?
Bank robbery?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
In a few days, you did a robbery of a Baskin Robbins.
I did that. Yes, ma'am. I did.
I want some ice cream.
Okay. I'm just having a hard time with the fact that you've had several opportunities to be out in the community, and you
Yes,
haven't
ma'am.
been back in time, including just on bond.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything you want to say about that?
Could you repeat the question again? The phone was going in and out.
Just said that I have a little concern that every time you're out in the community, and it's not just been that one time, it's been at least twice, and I think
Yes,
you had
ma'am.
some opportunities as well, that you just get in more trouble. I know you're older, I know you say you've changed. Can you say anything that's going to make me
Ratch.
think that this time you mean it when you say you're not going to get in trouble? Because I'm sure you said to the last parole board that you weren't going to get in trouble.
Well, yes, ma'am. I would like to address that. Listen, Ms. Patricia West, only thing I can tell you is this. I wasn't thinking then, and I was acting without thinking, and I made just a bunch of bad decisions, a bunch of bad choices several times when I was out. And I didn't have my life right then. And so, of course, I can understand it being a hard decision for you to believe that I would do differently this time or do better this time. But the only thing I can do is be honest with you, Ms. Patricia West, and let you know that all I have is all I can give you, and that is that if you or the other board members take this opportunity and grant me parole, only thing I can tell you is give you my word, and just I can only go back out there and try to show you all, and I can't, I don't want to make no excuses, because each time I was out there I did reoffend, and I was wrong, and I did do wrong. But again, like I said, that was 19 years ago, and I've had plenty of time to reflect and recount my actions, and I just know that I've learned my lesson this time.
And I guess drugs played a role in you not having good judgment too. Would that be fair?
Yes, ma'am. That would be exact and correct. Yes, ma'am. But I have been sober from drugs and alcohol the past 30 years of my life.
All right. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your comments.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Right. Does anyone else have any further questions? Okay. I would like to say that we do have, one of your victims is listening in today, and they've chosen not to speak. That's my understanding. Is that correct? She was unable to get on. She was not able to get on. Okay. She was not able to get onto the call, and so she's not listening. Not opposed. As long as you do what you say you're going to do, she's not opposed.
Ma'am, I didn't hear you, Miss West. What'd you say?
That one of your victims was going to be on the phone today.
Yes, ma'am.
She could not get on the phone. So I was just saying, she's not opposed. She's not opposed to release. Can you understand me? She's not objecting.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Okay, yes, ma'am. I understand. Yes, ma'am. I understand. Miss West, I would like to just make an acknowledgement that during my 2.5 years here at St. Bride's, I was afforded the opportunity through my parole peer support group to have the privilege to meet Mr. Samuel Boone when he attended up here back in 2024 with our group meeting to meet him. And I have also had several opportunities since that group individual encounter with Mr. Boone to meet with him individually at least 2 or 3 different times. And I just want to acknowledge to the board that all Mr. Samuel Boone's efforts and his attention and the fact that he took time out of his busy schedule to come up here and meet with us as a group and being with me on 3 separate occasions. I just want to acknowledge that I didn't take it lightly, and I didn't take his time and his energy and effort for granted. And I'm really grateful and overly appreciative that he thought enough of me to come and meet with me on those numerous occasions individually. And I also want to acknowledge to Ms. Michelle Dermeyer. I just want to offer you, Ms. Dermeyer, my most sincere apologies and my most deepest condolences to you, your sons, and the entire Dermeyer family for you all's loss. And that is not lost on me. And I wanted to make sure I acknowledge you and say that and express that to you as well.
Thank you, Mr. Gregory.
Yes, ma'am.
So for your comments about Mr. Boone, I know that he has spent a lot of time with you, and 3 visits, I guess, is what you said. I can't remember how many you told me that it been 3. At least 3, he's lost track. And some people don't get any visits from him or anybody else. So I'm glad that you understand how important that was and how much that means that he was taking your case very seriously.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, let's get up to 150K taps. We're up to 147. Thank you, guys.
I was talking to you about the victim was on the phone, and they just want to make sure that you're not going to do this again. They did not.
No.
But they just want to. Okay? That's their main concern. That you changed. Their main concern is you.
Thank you, Kate Thompson.
Miss West, I'm sorry. I didn't understand a single thing you said after the victim.
Thank you for that.
I said the victim's main concern is that you've changed.
Yes, ma'am, and I have. I promise you all I have. And the only thing I can do is show you.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Thank you. 151K taps.
All right.
Now let's get up to 200.
Are there any additional questions or discussion? Then I'll call for the final vote. In this room.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Hey, Mr. Boone, how you doing, sir?
I spent a lot of time with you. I've lost track.
Yes, sir.
That didn't include the times I was watching you when you didn't know I was watching. You know,
yes, sir.
Out here to see how you run your parties. These are some very serious crimes. We talked about it. It's very serious.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You one of the first people I met. I think when I got for you, I met you very early, and I wanted to see how you reacted when I told you. I didn't know what you'll see. You may not never get out, and I wanted to see how you did after that. And you handled that quite well. Because most people will blow up and get all upset, but you only got better not knowing what the future would be. So I really appreciate the growth and everything you've done. So I'm proud today to vote Grant. I've been studying you for a while, and I feel comfortable put my name on it because I've been watching for a long time through the ward, through your calendars, checking you to see what you're doing, because this is no game. You know that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I'm okay because your family support. You've done well to talk about drugs and everything. And
yes, sir.
I'm looking for some great work in the future, and I will be following you down the road.
Yes, sir, and I appreciate it. And I promise you I won't let you down, Mr. Boone. I promise.
I hope not.
Thanks.
I too looked at this case and have some reservations because of
yes, sir.
Prior history.
Yes, sir. I understand.
You come out and you know, gun violence is very serious. But,
yes, sir.
I have made a decision to support your release because of your excellent institutional adjustment, a stable release plan, and you've been infraction-free for the past.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate that, and thank you so much, Mr. Banks. I promise you, as I promised Mr. Samuel Boone, I would not disappoint you all, and I would not let you all down.
Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes. Let me say this to you, Mr. Gregory. First of all, I believe you're a changed person today, even compared to where you were 18 or 19 years ago when you were first released on parole. I think
yes, sir, I understand.
63 years old. And I want to make clear one thing. I want you to listen to me real carefully, okay?
Yes, sir.
We're getting an opportunity potentially to be paroled today that a lot of people don't get, especially you've already had been paroled the first time, okay? And then you go out and get the same kind of crime that you did that got you in trouble to begin with, okay?
Yes, sir. You're right.
Having said that, and looking at all the facts and circumstances about what you've done, you have spent a total of 31 years in prison. Okay?
Yes, sir. You're right. You're exactly right.
I want you just to listen, okay? You have spent 31 years in prison, which is basically half of your life. Now, in this case, you're very fortunate in that one of the people that were the victims of one of your crimes has agreed not to oppose your release on parole. And that means a lot to me as a board member when a victim does not oppose your release from prison. I do believe that you're a changed person. I think you have been in prison, a model prisoner, which is you've done exactly what you should be doing. And I'm going to go through the details in a second. But I just wanted to make that comment initially that you have served 31 years in prison. You have no victim opposition. You have demonstrated a rehabilitation in what you've done, especially the last 18 or 19 years, and not getting yourself in further difficulty. You've had excellent institutional adjustment. You've been infraction-free for the last 24 months. You also have received in 2021, you had a medical condition that I'm assuming has created some issues as well. And certainly from a medical standpoint, that also has an effect on a person as a human being, make no mistake about it.
Yes,
in addition to that, what's important to me is you have a low risk assessment rating insofar as the likelihood that you will commit these crimes again. So your risk assessment factor is low, which is good for you.
Yes, sir.
In addition to that, you do have, and these are also very important, you have significant community support, you have a stable release plan, and you also have successfully participated in correctional and vocational programs. And for all of those reasons, I'm voting today to grant you parole.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ferguson. I certainly appreciate it. And I promise, like I said, with Mr. Boone and Mr. Lord Banks, that I would not disappoint y'all, and I promise you, I would not let y'all down. Because I have plans to not disappoint my family and let myself down. And the only thing I do is just promise y'all that I will show you this time.
And we are expecting that to occur, and that's why we voted, those who have thus far voted, we voted to grant you parole because we believe you will be successful, okay?
Yes, sir. I promise I will. Yes, sir, and I do, and I thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Ermeyer?
I would like to acknowledge, I do think you are a different person today. So I would like to acknowledge the growth that we see today. I think at the end of the day for me though, it does bother me, that you were given a chance.
Yes, ma'am.
And you got out and then you committed more violent acts of robberies. And so for me, my decision today would be to not grant.
Yes, ma'am.
So.
Yes, ma'am. I understand. I respect that.
And Mr. Gregory, Mr. Gregory, Ms. Durmeyer and I discussed your case before we came in here.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm sitting here not knowing exactly which way I was going to go, honestly.
2 yes, right? I think there's 2 yes and 1 no.
She and I both talked about that. And I think I'm going to vote to grant your parole.
Oh.
Yes, ma'am.
With a lot of reluctance, I got to tell you.
Yes, ma'am. I understand that. I understand that. And I respect that.
On top of everything else, you were a 3 strikes case that was
yes, ma'am.
By Ms. Bennett, and you're lucky to even be having a parole hearing.
Yes, ma'am, and I understand that. I fully understand that.
So, I mean, this is a big deal for me right now.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't like the fact that you got in trouble while you were on bond. I don't like the fact that you got in trouble again when you're out.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this
I understand and I respect that, Miss West. I do. I really do. And I promise you, the only thing I do is promise you, like I promised Mr. Boone, Mr. Banks, Mr. Ferguson, that I would not disappoint you, all of you, and I would not let you down, because I don't want to disappoint or let down my family again, and nor myself, most importantly. So that's all I can do is show you all and allow my actions to speak for themselves. So I want to thank each and every one of you.
I think you'll be okay if you stay away from the drugs.
Yes, ma'am.
Just stay away. It's a little bit harder. I mean, I know you can get drugs in prison, but it's harder than it is on the outside. You will have the opportunity to get drugs. And if you want them, you can do it. So do not do that, because that's going to be your downfall if you're going to be back.
Oh, Miss West, I can assure you that would be the least of you all's words from me, because I have no desire and just, I hate drugs. I hate drugs, I hate alcohol, I hate to be around it, I hate the smell of it, and I can promise you, I can assure you, that would be the least of you all's words with me.
No face.
I hope so. Because
yes, ma'am.
That contributed to a lot of your problems.
It did. Yes, ma'am, it did.
Well, I decided, based on what I've seen today, and based on your significant community support, your stable release plan, and your excellent institutional adjustment, I am going to also vote to grant you parole.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, Ms. West. And thank you all. I understand, and I respect that. I do. I really do. I fully understand, Ms. West. But I promise you, I will not let you down or disappoint you. None of you all.
I can assure you, Mr. Briggs, that he's going to follow up and make sure you're doing okay. I'll be following you too. And if
yes,
I see my name next to your name in the newspaper, we're going to have trouble.
Yes, ma'am. I promise you. I understand. I fully understand. But I can assure you, you won't see my name in the newspaper unless it's because I'm being buried.
We don't want to see that, though. We don't want to see
that. Yes, ma'am.
So, congratulations, Mr. Gregory. You've received the majority of the votes to grant you parole. You'll go through re-entry, and your behavior between now and the time you complete re-entry
yes, ma'am.
Counts. That counts. And what I mean by that is, if you get in trouble, this is not any good until you walk out the door. This is not final until you walk out the door. So if you get in trouble at the institution, you don't let us know.
Well, I assure you, they won't be letting you know any of that.
His warranty wasn't that extended.
And just don't let anyone down, okay? Like you said, especially yourself. Because if you
Thank
come
you
back,
all.
you'll die in prison. You come back, you'll be dying.
I'm very aware of that. I'm very aware of that, Mr. West, and I'm just so grateful for the opportunity that you all have afforded me, blessed me and afforded me today that I won't have to die in this penitentiary. So that's been one of my greatest concerns. That's why I've done everything in my power to do the right things, to be a model prisoner and just act accordingly. So if this opportunity ever afforded itself again, I would be able to step up and prayerfully, with much prayer, be considered and granted parole by the board as happened today. And I'm just thankful, and I really, really appreciate y'all. I can't even express it. I'm at a loss for words.
Thank you, sir. But thank you, this is just to do the right thing. So we will, we'll all be watching, but thank you and good luck to you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you all so very much. I promise you, I would not disappoint y'all, and I promise you, I would not let you all down. Thank you all for everything.
Appreciate it. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck to you, Mr. Gregory.
Okay, thank you all of you all, and I appreciate you all so much, all of y'all. You all have a blessed continuous to y'all's day, and please, you all be safe on your way home after you all leave from wherever you all are at today. Be safe on your travels home, please. And God bless y'all, all of y'all.
He don't want to get off the phone.
You're free to go now. You're free to go.
Okay, God bless y'all, and thank you all so much.
What parole hearing is this? This is in Connecticut? Come on now. You guys know this is in Connecticut. Hey, just so you guys know, the horrible phone service or quality audio is not me. That's all them right there. For whatever reason, they got some really janky setup over there. They got that prison phone. And then I don't even know what kind of phone they're using over there on their side, on the board hearing side. They probably have one microphone that picks up everything. So it's all bad. So the state phone, is the state. It's not me. So I know, James, the quality is bad. I can't do anything about it. It is what it is. We're along here for the ride. It's not James. It's not my Wi-Fi. Prison got them T-Move phones. They didn't invest in one. They should definitely have a better setup for these board of parole hearings. 2 more cases. Yeah, so this is Virginia, and this is going to be the second time that we do Virginia. It's not James McDonald's Wi-Fi this time. Hopefully this audio is better on this one here. It's Casper the Friendly Ghost, if you will. And if you haven't done so, please do so. Hit that follow button. It's free 99. It's free for you, free for me. Don't be a Mr. Krabby Patty. Don't be a Scrooge McDuck. Hit that follow. Also, sharing is caring. Share with the ones you love. Share with the ones you don't love. Just share.
Good afternoon.
You want Kevin Gibson, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Okay. We are here to discuss your case for parole, and we have folks listening in on the telephone, so I'm going to go ahead and just summarize what you are in for. You are at Haynesville Correctional Center. You're 60 years of age, and you're eligible for geriatric conditional release. You were sentenced to 25 years for an armed robbery that occurred in 2001, and this is your second geriatric consideration. Do any of the board members have any questions for Mr. Gibson?
I'd like to ask Mr. Gibson a couple of questions. My name is Lloyd Banks, and
Banks.
I've been looking at your case for
it's different now.
A couple of years now, and
thank you.
It's a difficult one, I think, because of the violent nature of the offenses. And so what I'm hopeful is that you might give me an overview of what was going on in your life that created your desire to do these offenses, and what's different today than when these events occurred.
Yes, sir. Appreciate the question. At the time that the events occurred, my wife at the time, I had just graduated from Lincoln Tech for HVAC, air conditioning, heating, and refrigeration. I went to school because I got fired from my security job because of a new law that got passed in Maryland saying that ex-convicted felons could not do security without a license. So after I got let go from that job, I decided to sign up to go to school for Lincoln Tech to try to acquire a trade so that I can continue to provide for my family. My wife at the time was pregnant with our daughter, Amira. And so when I went to Lincoln Tech, I applied for a grant and loan from the government to allow me to go to school, and they gave me the grant at first for $11,000 of the $14 that it takes to go to Lincoln Tech. So I was in school for about 3 months, and then I was notified that the grant and the loan had been rescinded and they took it back. So my wife at the time, who was working for a family hair salon, I went to her and told her that the only way I would be able to stay in school was I had to provide the $988 a month myself. And so I told my wife I wasn't able to do that. And so she said, being the loving, supporting wife that she was, she said she would pay my tuition. And so she started paying my tuition. I was able to graduate from school because of the help and the love of my wife. And at the time, like I said, she was pregnant and still working in her hair salon. And so once I graduated from school at the head of my class with honors, I became a level 4 HVAC technician. But once I got out of school and graduated, all of the companies in the DC metropolitan area that came to the school and did a job fair to hire us, none of them wanted to hire me because of my past felony convictions. And so I was basically, first of all, I was a little upset that I had to allow my wife to pay for my tuition because I felt I was less of a man. But at the time, so once I didn't get the job with all those companies in the metropolitan area from the trade that I learned for a whole year at Lincoln Tech, I ended up getting a job with a mom and pop company called H&C Air Conditioning in Lowell, Maryland, but I was paid $10 under what I was supposed to earn as a level 4 HVAC technician. And so what really brought everything to a head was, at the time, like I said, my wife was 8 months pregnant with my daughter, and then she had what's known as a mental health breakdown at the time because of the stress, the overwork, trying to support, pay our bills, and put me through school. And so at that time, that's when a financial crisis hit us, and we were on the verge of being put out of our townhouse, losing our cars. And then, like I said, my wife was pregnant. And so I was already feeling some kind of way at the time because I didn't have the patience that I have now to be able to wait. And so I took matters into my own hands and said that the only way I could survive and keep us from losing our house, our cars, and like I said, she had the mental health breakdown, so she had to be hospitalized. So I took on the burden of having to pay all the bills, keep our house, keep her from losing our child. And so at the time, like I said, I didn't have the cognitive thinking skills that I have now. And I took matters into my own hands because of my lack of patience. And that's what caused me to do the robberies in the counties in Maryland and the one robbery out here.
Yeah, let me stop you here.
Yeah, can I follow just one?
Yeah, and I want to ask, I guess the next question would be, things have only gotten worse since then. We've got inflation, we've got a tough job market. Again, I guess my real question is, what would be different this time?
Thank you for asking. The difference in now is, can I say this before we go any further? How most people look at prison as a curse. I look at prison, for me, it's been a blessing to me because I've been able to transform my mind, transform my way of thinking. I've been able to give back to my community with not only just helping transform myself, but just giving back to society by me helping others that are less fortunate as me as far as younger guys. So I've been able to mentor, motivational speak, I've been able to teach, and I've just learned so much. And so, you know how most people would say, well, I don't like prison, it's harmful, I just want to get out. But it has been a blessing to me. And I know a lot of people won't say that, but I'm gonna tell you, I couldn't tell you where I would be had I been out there on the streets for those 25 years that I've been here. So prison has been actually the best thing that has ever happened to me.
So let me stop you again. Do you want to stay?
I mean, I just want to be about my Father's business continuously, meaning God, because that's what I've been doing since I've been here. Of course not. But I believe God has a bigger purpose for me out there because of everything that I've learned and that I've gained since I've been incarcerated between the two systems, Maryland and Virginia. I believe that I can take what I learned here out to the street and save others from not coming through the path that I went down and the road that I went down. So I could be more effective out in society. And plus at the time, like I said, my daughter, who's 25 years old right now, she basically was raised in a prison visiting room. She learned how to walk, crawl, and tie her shoes in a prison and visiting room because she's been coming to see me her whole life. So she's never had me on the street with her, but it has not affected our bond and our love for one another. And so I truly believe now that I know I can be more effective on the street because all that I've learned in here, I just want to be able to take it out there and give it to people on the street so that they won't have to come to what I went to learn what I learned.
Yeah, I don't have any other questions.
Mr. Gibson, I had wanted to just clarify. You don't have to go through the whole litany again of the things that were happening, but can you give me a time frame here? You were in school with a grant. About when was that?
I started school in 1998 and I graduated a year later in 1999.
But does he have a 4.0 GPA? And did he go to Yale? That's the real question.
They called me out to the finance office and they said something about when I got released from the youth facility, something about I didn't fill out a draft card or something. And in order to get released in the DC prison system, you have to sign a draft card when you turn 18. I signed 2 of them. I don't know what they did with them, but they were using that as an excuse for why they took the grant back from me.
Okay.
And so that's why, but I still went to school and finished and graduated.
You finished the school, I understand that. And that was in 1998 and 99?
Yes, ma'am.
Graduated in 1999?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, your first robbery was July 2nd, 1999.
I graduated in May. I graduated in like May.
Okay. You hadn't been trying very long to get a job and work. Your first robbery was July 2nd, 1999.
Yeah, again, like I said, my lack of patience and everything that was beholding me as far as all of the, my wife being hospitalized, me having to pay all the bills and stuff like that. I couldn't really do it on my part-time salary that I was earning at the time, working for HC Air Conditioning at the time. And so it just overwhelmed me and overburdened me and at the time. And like I said, I had a lot on my plate that I had to take care of. I wasn't able to do it like she was because like it led her to have a mental health breakdown. And I probably would have been right there with her if I would have kept going the way I was going. And so I did the best that I could with the lack of patience that I had at the time because I was still young. And just, you know, the ACEs that I went through, the adverse childhood experiences that I experienced coming up, just all of that just overwhelmed me at the time. And I took matters into my own hands, which was wrong at the time. And I know better now, but at that time I just wasn't thinking and I just did what I did. And
I'm going to ask you a question. I have another question for you, and I want you to answer me truthfully. Were you using drugs during that time?
No, ma'am. I'm proud to be able to say that I've been drug and alcohol free my whole entire 61 years on this planet. That never was my problem, so I can't say it's been drugs or alcohol.
Okay. All right. You've got a record all up and down the East Coast. What were you doing then? Without going, you don't have to go into too much detail, but you've got, okay, Maryland, I understand, Washington, D.C., and Virginia, obviously. Those are the 3 places that you talked about. But you have Florida and North Carolina and maybe one other, oh, let's see, that's Maryland. Anyway, why were you all up and down the East Coast committing crimes?
Because I got in the car and drove to those different areas and did what I did. And that's why I got to North Carolina and Florida.
What reason are you doing that?
I didn't want to stay. Yeah, I wanted to go as far away as possible from my location. So, you know, again, at the time that I did it, like I said, I just was traveling, trying to get my life together. And you know, and in the interim of that, being in those 3 different states you mentioned, that's where I did robbery at.
But so you left to commit your robberies far away from where you lived? Or were you just traveling?
Those robberies were before, this was before my marriage. I wasn't married then, this was back in the 80s. So that's when I did those.
Those were all before that, okay.
Yes.
Right, and you did some time for those, right?
Yes, ma'am. I did a combined total of 10 years from 1986 to 1996 in those different states.
Then you got out, went to school, and okay. All right. I think that's all I have. Anyone else have questions?
I've got a couple of questions that I want to ask you, if I might.
That lady, she's a tough cookie. She's going to be asking those good questions.
You indicated that one of the reasons you committed these robberies was because you were having financial difficulties and you weren't sure how you were going to make it. My question is, what's going to happen today if you get out and you suddenly find that you have, again, financial difficulties? How are you going to deal with that situation?
That's a good question, sir. But well, I'm thankful today that, again, like I said, the Department of Corrections has truly been a blessing to me since I've been in my 25 years of incarceration, because my cognitive thinking has grown so much better. It's not immature anymore. I've learned so many skills and acquired so many skills. I earned my master's degree while I was incarcerated. I've earned numerous trades that will allow me to be able to work in different fields as far as electrical, plumbing, air conditioning, heating, solar paneling, installation. I mean, you name it, I've learned everything. But the most important thing is my attitude adjustment and my transformation in my mind and in my heart. I knew everything that I was doing back then was wrong. And it was not only a sin against man, but it was a sin against God. And so, you know, I have a higher standard that I stand to now, because I actually really changed the minute my daughter came into the world in 2000. When she was born and I was blessed with her, that changed my whole mindset of the way I was even thinking selfishly just about me. And I basically just live for her now that she came into this world. So I just want to leave a lasting legacy with her. I want to live up to my wife's promises that she promised me when she passed away in 2020. And I just been having a moment of just trying to wait 20-something years to be able to get out and implement what I've been doing in my mind, in my head, in my heart since I've been incarcerated. So it's a big difference now. I'm no longer the person that I used to be back in 1999 when I walked through those doors. But it's all because of the two Department of Corrections, Maryland and Virginia, because I'm telling you, I've learned so much since I've been here. I'm just not the same person anymore.
Let me ask you one other question, a very simple question. If you were faced with the kind of pressures and the difficulty that you had in the past when you committed these robberies, how are you going to deal with a similar situation if you're faced with it today?
Well, I've learned cognitive thinking behavior now. So I know how to handle those situations when I get into them now, because I know about conflict resolution. I know how to have patience. I know how to reach out to friends, advocates, loved ones, and I know how to use my support system to better help me so I won't make those rational, fast choices anymore. I have a lot more to live for now. So, I mean, I'm just encouraged just to know that I'm thankful that I'm not even the person that I used to be when I used to get into those predicaments, because I know how to think out of it now. It was just so easy for me to choose the wrong way back then than it is now. It's more easier for me to choose the right way now because I'm just not that person anymore. So I deal with conflict resolution skills now, and I deal with anger management, and I deal with thinking for a change and thinking, deciding change. It's so much I've learned in the Department of Corrections that just has my whole mind just on a whole nother level as far as where I am, as far as my remorse for what I did. Because it's not right to take things from people.
Okay, let me ask you one other quick question. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. As I understand it, you correct me if I'm wrong, you have now been incarcerated for initially about 10 years, and now on what you're serving now, a total of 23 years. Is that correct?
25.
Close to that. So you have spent over half of your life in prison. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, that's all I wanted. I just wanted to clarify the amount of time that you have spent in a penal institution during your life. So you spend as much or more time in a penal institution than you have on the street. Is that correct?
I've spent a total of 31 years combined in a penal institution during my 61 years of life on this earth. But
so you spent half your time. You spent half your time.
Beginning of my life, I was a kid and a child, so.
No, I understand what you're saying. I just want a clarification of how much time you've actually spent incarcerated. And I understand now you're a different person than you were then. And you've certainly done a lot of positive things while you've been in prison. There's no question. I mean, I've seen the reports and all the other things, so I know that. But I just wanted to clarify for the record is all I'm doing.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I had another question too, and this expands on something that Mr. Ferguson said. Okay, he said, what are you going to do if you get out there and the situation arises where you've got the pressure, the money, don't have the money again, and you listed off a whole bunch of theoretical programs that you've learned in prison, classes you've taken. I'm not diminishing those; those are great classes. But you're standing out there, the company's coming to repossess your car. That means you'll lose your job if you don't come up with $500, and nobody in your support system has $500 to loan you. What do you do? I mean, how do you respond? How do you react? How do you use conflict resolution there? How do you use those classes that you say that you've gotten so much from to come up with a solution?
Thank you, and I'm glad you asked. I know how to take a breath now. I know how to relax my mind. I know how to breathe. I know how to think outside the box of the normalcy of the way the world thinks, because I think on God's time now. I don't think on man's time. And the transformation that God has done in me since I've been here, everything that you read in my files that shows the positivity that I've been doing in prison, I can take to the street because I'm the same person now that I will be when I get out on the street. The only difference is that I've actually been free the whole time I've been incarcerated. I've just been here physically, but emotionally, spiritually, and mentally, I've always been out in society with my family, my loved ones, my support system. So I have the skills and the knowledge now to be able to generate wealth for myself, because there is no genre or no area that I probably couldn't go into if somebody showed it to me once. And that's as far as work or whatever, so that I can do all types of work. I have all types of skills now, and I'm just happy to just be able to give back, because when I run into those situations now, they won't faze me like they did then, because I've had 25 years of just thinking positively that I'm happy and proud about, that has transformed my mind to where the negative is dirty to me now. If it isn't anything positive, then I don't even waste my time with it. And so I'm not worried at all about that, because I mean, you know, I'm telling you, I've just learned so much since I've been in here. And I know now that there are different measures that you can take as far as using your support system, even my friends, and that are not even part of my biological family. I just have so much love and support of ministries in different counties like Baltimore, PG County, and DC that are just waiting for me to get out there to just support me and have me work with them on their teams. So I just need to be out there and just show people what God has done in me in here, and that it works. And also to the Department of Corrections, because I'm telling you, a lot of these programs in here are helpful if dudes apply their mind and their heart to them and take them seriously. So I'm just a whole new individual, and I thank you again for your question, because it's just an awesome question, and I'm just so excited just to
awesome
be able
question.
To show what God can do when you give your heart, your whole mind to Him. So thank you again for that question.
Thank you, sir. Does anyone else have?
Man, I need some Mad Dog 2020 right now.
I just want to.
Anybody got Mad Dog 2020?
You're going to continue to go through these situations. You know, you've been gone a long time. The pressure only gets worse. I'm just thinking about my ride to work in the morning. It's always some drama. It's always some
Maricopa at 11, yep.
I got kids. I got my wife. I'm always dealing with something. So it gets far worse than what you're talking about. So when you get to those situations, and one key thing I heard you saying, whether you get released or whether you stay in there, stay with a strong support system, a counselor, maybe another male who's gone through those experiences. Who you need to stay with on a regular. That's just my advice, because of your past. Whether you get granted or stay in there for the rest of your life, keep that so you can stay on the right track, because you do have a daughter, kids, and you need to set that example. So, you know, going forward, if you release one day, if something, you come up short, you don't need to be thinking about a robbery or a quick scheme. You need to be thinking about a second or third job. I mean, that's how you're going to deal with it. And you're going to seek that help, find out how you get through it. That's why I want to hear a second or third job. That's how you're going to deal with it, not a second or third robbery. Okay. But I wish you the best, and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
What do you guys think? Do you guys think he should be let out based on his answers?
Hi, Mr. Gibson. How are you?
How are you doing? Fine. I'm blessed. Highly favored.
Good. what would you say to your victims today if you had an opportunity to speak to them? Because your offenses were violent and you scared a lot of people. So what would you say today?
I would tell my victims again, I would ask for forgiveness, of course, because I did wrong them. I did do something wrong. I did violate their privacy. I did violate their time. I did scare them. And I would tell them again that, you know, nobody deserves to have their private stuff taken from them, their property or their valuables. And that, of course, I was wrong for doing it because I wasn't thinking rationally at the time. But I would tell them how sorry I am. And I would explain to them that real remorse isn't just being sorry for what you did, but real remorse is just being not only sorrowful, but knowing that you did something irrevocably wrong and that you want to do what you can within your power to help change the narrative of what caused the wrong in the first place. And so I would volunteer my services to them and ask them, could I help them do something? They don't have to pay me or anything, but I would just be in a give back spirit as I've always been now and just be able to, see, I'm not only just a human being, but I'm now a human being that's living through a spiritual moment. And so I'm actually a spiritual being living in a human body. And so I would tell my victims again that it was wrong for me to do what I did. I sincerely apologize. I hope that they can forgive me for it and that anything I can do that could further right my wrongs that I haven't already done with my service, my community development or whatever else I can do to change the way you see me or think of me because of what I've done, then I would be greatly appreciative. But I would just want to give back because that's where I am with it. So I would definitely continue to apologize to them. And I did that in my letters to my victims. I did send a letter to my victims in my clemency package to the governor. And so I would just tell them again how sorrowful I am and that please try not to look at me for the man that I used to be back in 1999, but look at the man that you see now in 2025, because he's no longer the same person. And so that's what I would say to my victims.
Then I have one more question. What do you think your biggest challenges will be whenever you are released?
Well, I know my biggest challenge is like myself, the
turning on
young
the
man
sink.
on the left, the right said, I know prices are higher now. Things have changed now.
Getting some soda from a vending machine.
Going on out there with you have to pay higher prices for gas. The tariffs are going on and things like that. But my main thing to stay away from is negative pressure from old friends, and just don't even surround myself with negative people. If you're not positive, if you're not the type of friend that's going to get under my wings and help me soar like an eagle, then you're really no good to me. I mean, I would say hi and bye to you, but if you have any element of negativity in you, then I would stay away from you because I don't need any pressure and I don't need any influence from a negative environment. And so that's what I would do. And that's the hardest thing. But like I said, because I'm going back to Washington, D.C., where I was born and raised, not the same neighborhood that I was raised in, but I'm going back to Washington, D.C. And
isn't
so,
Washington, D.C. like super expensive?
My hardest thing. But again, as long as I keep the picture in my mind of the God that I serve, the ministry that I'm a part of, and my daughter, who I promised to my wife that I would take care of and continue to raise, as long as I keep that person foremost in my mind, and I know who I'm living for, not just me anymore, but for her, and that would change everything for me.
Thank you.
I uploaded it to right here, this account, Christian. Is the last video I posted up.
Right. Do we have any
Man, I want a peanut butter sandwich right about now. My blood sugar just dropped out of nowhere after listening to this hearing here. The other one had me really, it really had me going. I was about to tear up. I was about to shed a tear. But for this one, I can't. Hey, how's it going? Hello.
Give your final vote, please, Mr. Boone.
Definitely the grant, because the stable release plan, release is compatible with public safety.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I voted the grant as well, Mr. Gibson, and I just want to say this, I'm doing so with a lot of reservations.
Thank you.
You know, the crimes were very serious. I do appreciate that I didn't see any circumstances where you pulled the trigger. And so that's not to...
I never used a real gun. It was always a BB gun.
Well, and that's not to diminish your crime. That's just to say I'm willing to offer you an opportunity to return to society.
Thank you.
And that's based on a stable release plan and excellent institutional adjustment. And
Thank you.
Like I said, I wish you the best.
Mr. Ferguson.
Mr. Gibson, let me say a couple of things. I think you've come a long way and done a lot of positive things since you've been in the penal system. You spent over half of your life incarcerated, and it's very difficult when you do that, but you've also learned a lot since you've been in prison. You're now 60 years old, and when you've done that, you've learned a lot in that entire situation.
Yep.
This case to me is remarkably similar to a similar case that we had earlier today. And when I look at it, it's almost like they're mirror images of each other in some ways. In that case, I voted to grant parole to the individual involved. And in looking at your case and comparing to that, I have very little, I can find very little difference between the two cases. And for that reason, I feel for the sake of consistency that I'm going to grant you parole as well and vote to grant you parole because you have spent over 30 years in prison. And if your attention has not been gotten by now, then you never will get the attention.
Thank you,
and
Jessica.
I want you to understand, and I'm sure you will, because I think you're a very intelligent individual. I believe that you will go ahead and I believe you will do well. And I want to give some very specific reasons why I'm voting to grant you parole today. Number one, you have already served over 30 years in prison. Number two, the prosecuting attorney in that jurisdiction that handled that case actually supports your release from prison. In addition to that, you have demonstrated that you are truly rehabilitated. You've had an excellent institutional adjustment. You've been infraction-free for at least the last 24 months. I believe your release is compatible with public safety. Your risk assessment score is low, as was the other individual that we voted to grant parole to today. You do have a stable release plan, and you have successful participation in correctional and vocational programs. As I say, your case, to me, is almost identical to the case that we handled a little bit earlier today. And for that reason, I'm going to be consistent in my vote, and I'm voting to grant you parole, just as I voted to grant parole in the previous case.
Thank you.
And I wish you nothing but the very best, and I want you to continue on the right track to do what is the right thing, and I believe you will do that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Before we go any further, what did you say about a toy gun?
Robbery.
I always use the BB gun in my crimes.
Never used a real gun.
I never used a real gun. I had no intention of hurting anybody. That's not what I did it for.
1999, a search warrant was executed on your wife's business, and they found a black automatic handgun similar to the one used in the robberies. What's that all about?
That was just what the gun that the BB gun that I used was black, but my wife had a gun in her hair salon and I never touched it. That was just investigating, and they just said the people said I had a black gun, and so they did a search warrant on my wife's hair salon and they found her gun.
You just happened to have a black gun. Was her hair salon in DC?
Her hair salon was in PG County, Maryland.
Is it legal for her to have a gun there?
Yes, she had a license for it and everything. Her father left it to her to protect her shop from people robbing it.
People like him?
It was always hidden in the shop somewhere. I don't even know where he's at.
Mr. Gibson.
Thank you. Cheers.
I want you to know that when we leave here, I'm going to have this checked out, okay? Because that caught my attention. And if you're lying to us, I mean, it's not final until it's final here, okay? I hope you're not lying to us. And the only chance you have right now is if you are 100% sure that the detective is going to say that it was a BB gun that you used and not the gun at the salon or something else. What can you tell me? Because I don't want to catch you in a lie, but I feel like you may be stumbling.
You don't have to worry about it. The detective's name is Lieutenant Montague, and he's from PG County.
Hopefully he's still there.
I don't even know if he's still there, but I'm telling you, this is way back in 1999. But even on the robberies back in the 80s, I always used a BB gun. Always. I never had to use a real gun. He wouldn't even have wanted to. But you know, sometimes when officers do their investigations and they talk to the victims are so scared sometimes that they just be like, look, it was a big black gun. And then I've never ever got arrested with a gun on me ever because I've always had a BB gun.
Well, one of the victims described it as a little more specific than what you're saying. A black semi-automatic pistol, medium frame, tucked down the front of your pants.
Yeah, they sell it at Montgomery Ward's and they sell it at Sears back in the day. Well, back then they did, but it looks like a real gun, but it's not. It has like a little red dot in the front of it, a plastic red dot that I painted black so you couldn't see the red dot. But Robbery. It looks just like a real gun, but it's not. It's a BB gun.
Okay, because they're all convinced you had a real gun. All right, I'll let it go now.
Thank you,
Mr. Ramon.
Just like the last gentleman that we saw, you present yourself very well. And so I do think that you have learned some lessons during your time being incarcerated. However, just like the last gentleman, I think for me, due to the extensive criminal history and with them, you know, I know you said it was just a BB gun, but you did scare people because they thought it was a real gun. And so for those reasons, I am a not grant today.
And Mr. Gibson, my decision I came into this not 100% sure how it was going to go. And I will tell you before I give the vote that my decision is not affected. I made my decision before you made the statement about the gun being a BB gun.
Yes.
And I am going to be the one who is inconsistent with the last case. Your criminal record is worse than his. It's all up and down the East Coast. I mean, I don't have to distinguish it, but people on the phone are going to be wondering why. So I'm just giving you a few reasons. You were up and down the East Coast, very, very well planned if you were trying to get away from your area so that you wouldn't be caught. And then you did get caught and you spent some time in prison, got out, spent longer than you did, got out and continued with the business that you know, is what you said. You got frustrated and continued with the business you know. I'm also concerned about your answer about what you're going to do if you come up against a case where you have no money again. All of the things you've learned in prison are good, and I want you to use those things. But just like with the grant, okay, I'm sure you felt that was very unfair. You had registered like you said you were going to register. You thought you had done everything right, and they said you had, and they took your money away. And then your wife had to pay, you know, so you were having to go do something you didn't want to do, and you were mad because there was an injustice there. What if you come up against another injustice like that? I just am not sure that you've got the skills to handle the situation. I am not comfortable with that yet. You went back to the only business you knew, which was robbing places to get money. You said that in one of your statements. I just gave up on trying to find employment, went back to what I knew, which was robbing businesses to get money. And I'm just not sure that if something frustrates you, if something seems like an injustice, that you wouldn't return to that. So again, it doesn't have anything to do with the gun issue, although I am going to find out about that. But I am not comfortable, so my vote is a no based on your extensive criminal record, your history of violence, and your poor performance on when you've been on community corrections in the past. You've not been successful. So I'm voting no, but I do want to congratulate you. You've got 3 votes out of the 5 to grant parole, so you are being granted parole. You will be granted parole. You are going to be re-entry program training. I want you to take that seriously. It's going to help you learn how to deal with and land. Got it right there? Okay.
Graduated from re-entry.
Okay, that's good. Got to jump on it. Well, I'm glad you're doing that. So anyway.
No, I said I graduated already.
You already graduated re-entry? Okay. Well, that's good. When was that?
I graduated in excellence at Augusta re-entry program.
Okay, I don't know, they may have you do some more things, I'm not sure what DOC will have, they'll give you your release date. Between now and your release date though, you need to stay out of trouble because all that time counts too, okay? If you do something, if you get in trouble, these votes can be reconsidered again. So right now you're looking good. If you stay out of trouble and do what you're supposed to do, you'll be getting out when DOC tells you, which is typically about 6 months. But if you've done reentry, maybe less, I don't know, just ask them about that, okay? But good luck to you. And I hope, I mean, I don't know that I'm right, and I hope I'm wrong. And I hope you get out there, and I wish you all the success in the world. I do.
I can't disappoint you. I have something for you guys for all that you've done and spent the time to come and to see me today. Thank you for that. But can I give you guys something now? Just to show you, it's part of my testimony. Can I give something to you guys before we leave?
About how long will it take?
Minutes.
How much?
That's it.
Oh, a minute? Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Thank you. Life I've been called worthy. Name the voice of much human regret. Look at it and say to me, son, stop fighting.
What did I just walk into?
It's already been won. So I'll take off these heavy chains and wipe away every stain, 'cause I'm not who I used to be. I begin. Thank you. God bless you.
Mr. Gibson, use that talent when you get out there, okay?
Prison got talent.
Can you hear me?
I won't disappoint you. I won't disappoint you.
I just said use that talent when you get out there too, okay?
Hey, is he getting paroled?
Good church choir and get involved in that. And
Jay's in the Twilight
I
Zone.
wish you the best of luck. Thank you so much.
God bless you. Appreciate you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Good luck to you.
I wasn't even expecting that, man. What the? Hey, so look, so I went to use the restroom, and I'm using the restroom in the dark, and I hear my wife coming, and she walks in, she turns out the light, she's like, she like gets startled and stuff. She was like, oh, I was about to sit down on you, and then I come from that to over here, like what's going on over here? Two women said no. Damn, flush if you will. Time warp. I walked in. I was like, "What? Do I have like another feed going on?" Because I could hear something like it was coming in, but it wasn't coming in clearly. I was like, "Man, hold on. Did I have like another stream running or something?" He maxed out is 6 months. Oh, okay, I got that name. It's gonna be Al. Oh, okay, yeah. I think Ali. So I think she did get paroled. That was on Monday, wasn't it? Brown. Hold on. I got it up on my screen right now. Let me look at it. Let me look at it right now. Brown.
You're Mr. Rogers?
Yes, ma'am.
Ali Brown.
Okay?
Affirmed the panel's October 30th, 2024 decision to grant parole.
The last case for consideration today is Mr. Stefan Rogers, who is also at Haynesville
Getting out.
Center. Mr.
Getting
Rogers
out.
is 63 years old and is eligible for geriatric conditional release. He was sentenced to serve approximately 40 years for a series of drug-related offenses. He's been incarcerated for
Hey, thank you.
13
No face.
years, and this is his fourth geriatric consideration. Do any board members have any questions for Mr. Rogers?
I do.
Okay.
Inmates gone wild.
So it looks like you, your charges include selling drugs. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. What do you think the effects are to a community when you sell drugs?
Well, on this charge I'm in jail for now, I won't sell no drug because one of those drugs was in courtroom showing I was even selling drugs. It's all hearsay. There's no proof, no drugs in courtroom. And even the cops say that they never seen hand to hand or none of that crap.
You know, people get convicted when the police don't see hand-to-hand transactions. You
Yeah,
have to
but
see that. I mean, I'm not looking for you to come in here. Look, I was not looking for you to come in here and tell me what the evidence was that they did not prove. They evidently proved that you were selling drugs. Do you not agree with that?
I'm not agree with that, man.
Don't agree with it? Okay, that's right. I mean, you don't have to. I was just asking. But I'm not really interested in the evidence they did not present because there's a lot of things. Go ahead, Mr.
So, well, because it says you say I do admit that I sold drugs in King William County.
And that was on no charge. I did, man.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I admitted in King William County, that was on no charge in King William County.
So you admit to selling drugs in King William. You're saying you don't admit to the charges in King and Queen.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. But you have sold, okay, so then according to you, you have sold drugs.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so then my question will still stand. What do you think the effects of selling drugs do to a community?
It started a community and it take life from other people. And when the community is down,
okay, so you've served 13 years. Can you tell us what you have learned these last 13 years?
the last 13 years, since I've been in Haynes Correctional Center, I learned to respect people. I learned to do right. Right now, I'm totally into a veteran part. Everybody has a veteran.
AKD,
And I've
thank
been
you. KND.
back and forth to the hospital. I had a couple of heart attacks, gallbladder removed, strokes, and stomach.
Gracias, thank you.
All right, and can you talk about your release plan? What do you plan on doing whenever you are released?
I'm released. I
just sneezed all over my microphone.
Daughter,
I gotta sanitize.
and I promised her that from day one that whenever I come home, I promise to go to tail fishing, and that's my first priority to do. Then I'm gonna go ahead and live with my daughter in Richmond.
Hey, thank you,
pay my
Ash.
fines off, my restitution, and go see my PO.
All right, thank you.
I don't have to steal Wi-Fi from the neighbor anymore. I'll be able to get my own now.
How do you pay off your restitution and the court costs?
Well, my court costs is already paid
YT
off
is back.
because
Yes.
in DOC, they had a thing that if you had a job here at DOC, some of that money would go toward your pay thing. So my fine is already paid off. I think all I owe now is $310 for restitution.
Okay, well, I guess my question was really, how do you plan to support yourself and pay your bills? Whatever bills you
Yeah,
need.
Hey, thank
I'm
you.
on disability.
Thank you. He's my
I
world.
realize that. How much do you get on your disability?
But right now, I don't get no more because I'm locked up. But when I was on the street, I say I was getting close to $1,500 a month. But now it's every year it go up. But right now I don't get it because I'm incarcerated by the state.
And I understand that, Sue. So more than 1,500, but it's because it's gone up since you last got it, I guess.
Yes, ma'am.
Ooh.
For a street fight vote,
Was that the Milky Way?
About 18, something like that, maybe.
Thank you, Lisa.
Lord,
Mr. Right, Mr. Meyer asked you about your home plan. What is the home plan? I mean, who are you going to live with? Because $2,000 a month is not enough to live on.
1,500.
I
wish I got that.
I'm going to live with my daughter. She lives in Hanover.
So she's going to let you live there?
Yes, ma'am.
I had to get headphones. That's right.
You have questions?
44 days watching and 669 hours. Damn, Paula. You're a real one.
She married. Her husband's a preacher, and she go to church every Sunday, and she got a daughter and a little son.
Hey, hopefully you've learned like a special a gift or something, a special
And
something.
Where's your
Paula.
daughter?
Like hopefully, like if you ever get picked up, you could get yourself out of a situation.
Your 14-year-old, I guess.
Richard Pryor.
She lives in King Queen County.
King Queen, okay. And,
Let me ask you a couple questions, if I might, Mr. Rogers. As I understand it, you've had some medical issues, some pretty serious medical issues in the last, say, since at least 2021, and maybe before then. And now, as I understand it, you're confined to a wheelchair. Is that correct?
Correct, sir.
Okay, I just want to know. And so, you know, in looking at your background and your history, it looks like your medical situation, you certainly need help, and you're going to have somebody. If you got somebody that's going to be able to help you with that situation?
Yes, sir.
Who's going to help you with that?
I got my daughter going coming back and forth to the doctor at Biddy.
Okay. And do you think you'll have enough money so you can live okay, get by okay?
Yes, sir.
I just want to make clear so there's no misunderstanding that is not going to be acceptable for you to be selling any drugs of any kind at any time. Do we understand that?
30
Yes,
days,
sir.
650.
And even if you need some money, whatever you do, I'm telling you right now,
Hey, thank you,
don't
Paul.
even think about it. If you get out and you're granted parole of selling drugs, because I'm telling you, you're going to end up landing right back where you are now if you do. And the next time you probably won't get back out. Okay? So I'm just sending you a message right now. I just want you to know that. And we haven't voted yet, but I just wanted to clarify the issues so we got it before we even have this vote. Do we understand each other?
Yes, sir.
I'm at 560.
Hey, that's all I wanted to know. I don't have any other questions.
I understand you.
When Mr. Ferguson says
Lisa,
you can't
thank you
sell
for buying a
drugs to get money, that also means you can't
33 days,
rob the
18.
gas station, you can't steal,
No crime.
you can't get
No crime.
anything illegal to get money is off the table for you, or you're gonna end up back in prison. That's what he's saying. Is that right?
Well, I'm more focused on the drugs.
I don't know.
Because that was
I
what
don't know how
you're
to
in
check.
for primarily. And number two, particularly being in a wheelchair and the other things, I'm not overly worried about the robberies and those kind of things because of your physical situation and medical situation today. But even in a wheelchair, if you want to deal drugs,
Hey, how do you
deal
check the
drugs out of
stats?
Wheelchair just as good as you can do it standing up or anything else. So I want to make it crystal clear to you that what I'm talking about is, you know, you've got some serious medical issues, and that has an impact from my standpoint on whether or not I'm going to grant you parole. But I can assure you, if you go back to selling drugs again, from my standpoint, I can promise you, I will not hesitate to send you right back to prison as fast as you can get there. Do we understand each other?
Understand, correct, sir.
I just want to make it clear. Okay.
And I appreciate you letting me get straight, sir. Thank you.
That's all I have.
Any other questions? I guess we're ready for our vote at this time. Mr. Boone?
Okay, I'm going to grant releases compatible with public safety, stable release plan.
Number one, watch. Hey, thank you guys. Hey, I never imagined this when I started this. Like I don't even know.
I'm going to support his release and vote in favor of Grant because of his institutional adjustment, a stable release plan.
If you're a sub, it doesn't
and
show.
Medical condition.
Hey, good morning.
Mr.
You're
Ferguson.
both our number one
Yes.
accounts.
One of the primary reasons I'm voting today to grant
You
you
can't
release
ever
is
stop
because of your medical condition. I want you to understand that. I know you've got a lot of issues medically, and you know, I think you have an opportunity to get out and at least live a good part of the rest of your life, particularly if you've got somebody to help take care of you. But I want to be clear that when I say this, I want to make it crystal clear. If you come back in here and you're in any way involved with dealing drugs again, I can assure you, I'll be the first person to vote to revoke your being on parole. Do we understand that?
Yes, I understand you clearly.
Good.
And true.
The other reasons I'm going to vote to grant you parole, other than your medical conditions, is because you've been infraction-free for at least the last 24 months. I do believe your release is compatible with public safety, assuming you don't deal drugs. And I believe that you do have a stable release plan. And I do believe at this point, in light of all those facts, you've served enough time of your sentence for what you did. And I believe your release is compatible with public safety. So, and I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you, sir, and God bless you.
Dermeyer?
279 minutes watched.
I will vote to grant
Ooh.
today. I do believe that your release is compatible with public safety. You have a stable release plan. You have had an excellent institutional adjustment. I note that you've only had one infraction, and that was quite a few years ago, and due to your medical condition.
Thank you, ma'am. God bless you.
And Mr. Rogers, I'm also voting to grant today, and I'll give you the specific reasons. I have a couple things to say. You have been infraction free since 2015, and as Mr. Dermeyer said, there's only been one, I think, before that. You have medical condition. You've got a good release plan, and it is compatible with public safety. However, I'm not just focused on dealing drugs, because you can deal drugs from a wheelchair, but it's a little bit harder. But you've got a history of defrauding an innkeeper, which is probably dine and dash, or I don't know what you did exactly, but also worthless checks and those kind of things. Those are easy from a wheelchair.
Where's that damn on new box when you need it?
If you get charged and convicted of any crime, I don't care if it's a felony or a misdemeanor, you're gonna be right back there, and that's where you'll spend your last days.
Nah,
Do you understand?
I understand clearly. And God bless you.
You've got a prisoner who is in a wheelchair and was in a wheelchair when he committed murder. So I don't see that as a limitation to you that much as far as your criminal activity goes. Where there's a will, there's a way, and if you want to do it, you can. I'm just hoping you're making the right decision that you don't want to do that anymore.
No.
You left that life behind, correct?
Okay, all I'm gonna believe in the Christ, Jesus Christ.
Okay. Well, that's good, and that's, you know, just get your mind on something else and focus on your daughter and your grandchildren and your other daughter, the one you live with, the other daughter. So.
I thank you, man. Thank y'all, and I appreciate it. And
One final thing
I let myself down and let y'all down, and I promise.
And I appreciate that. And I want to say, the last thing I want to say is that you've been had very good behavior in the institution, but between now and the time you get out still counts. You can still come back if you get in trouble. They're going to let us know, and you probably will be taking this away from you. Okay, so you may have 6 months or so. I don't know how long your reentry will take, but just do what you've been doing, because you've been doing well.
We see another performance.
Good luck to you.
Thank you, sir. Good luck.
Good luck to you.
Thank y'all.
Ay. He's wheeling on out. He's on out. Heading up. Beep, 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 beep. Damn, James. You've gone too far, James. You've gone too far. You crossed the line, James. Boo! No performance. They try.
I know, I'm missing the last page. Yes.
You did the moonwalk, James. You're ruthless.
New business.
They see me rolling.
Yeah, we don't have a next meeting scheduled, do we? I don't think. All right.
He should have did the BMX tricks on his wheelchair. Should have done some wheelies there. You guys are as bad as me.